The snow falls heavy across the eastern front, somewhere between Stalingrad and Kharkov. It is February 1943. The landscape is white and dead. The trees are black skeletons against a gray sky. The ground is frozen solid. The wind cuts through uniforms like razors. The temperature is 20 degrees below zero, maybe colder. No one has a working thermometer anymore. The cold has killed more men than bullets this winter. Sergeant Klaus Weber knows this. He has seen men freeze to death in their sleep. He has seen frostbite turn fingers black. He has seen soldiers weep because their feet have stopped working. He is 31 years old. He has been on the Eastern Front for 18 months. He does not know how he is still alive. Luck, maybe, or God, or something darker. Something that keeps the damned walking when they should fall. His uniform is caked with mud and ice. His boots are falling apart. The soles are held together with wire. His gloves have holes in the fingers. His face is weathered and scarred. A piece of shrapnel took a chunk out of his left cheek near Rostov. It healed badly. Now, he has a scar that runs from his ear to his mouth. It makes him look older than he is. Harder, he leads a squad of 12 men, or what is left of them. 8 are dead. 2 are missing. 2 remain. Private Johann Keller, 19 years old, from Berlin, and Corporal Ernst Adler, 26, from Hamburg. They are holed up in the ruins of a farmhouse 3 kilometers west of a village that no longer has a name. The village was destroyed in November. The civilians are gone, dead or fled. It does not matter which. The farmhouse has 3 walls. The 4th collapsed under artillery fire. There is no roof, just sky, just snow. They have been here for 6 days, waiting for orders, waiting for reinforcement, waiting for death. It always comes. It is only a matter of time. At 0400 hours on the 7th day, Klaus hears engines, low, distant, coming from the east. Soviet trucks. He wakes Johann and Ernst. They grab their rifles. They move to the edge of the farmhouse. They crouch behind a broken wall. The snow is falling heavier now. Visibility is maybe 50 meters. The engines grow louder. Then they see them. 2 trucks. Soviet. Olive drab. Moving slowly along the frozen road. Klaus raises his hand. Wait. The trucks pass. They do not stop. They do not see the farmhouse. When the sound fades, Klaus lowers his hand. They breathe. Ernst is shaking. Not from fear. From cold. His lips are blue. Klaus knows the signs. Hypothermia. Ernst will not last another night. Neither will Johann. Neither will he. They need to move. They need to find shelter. Real shelter. A building with walls. With a door. With something to burn. Klaus makes a decision. They will head south. Toward the river. There was a monastery there. He saw it on a map 2 weeks ago. Maybe it is still standing. Maybe it is not. But staying here is death. And at least moving gives them a chance. They pack what little they have. Ammunition. A tin of meat. Half a loaf of frozen bread. A canteen of water that is turned to ice. They leave the farmhouse at dawn. The snow is up to their knees. The wind is relentless. They walk in single file. Klaus leads. Johann is in the middle. Ernst brings up the rear. They do not speak. There is nothing to say. They walk for 2 hours. Then 3. The landscape is endless. White. Empty. Frozen. There are no landmarks. No signs. Just snow and wind and cold. At 1,000 hours, they find the bodies. 3 Soviet soldiers. Frozen solid, sitting upright against a tree. Their faces are blue. Their eyes are open. Frost clings to their eyelashes. They look like statues, like monuments to the dead. Klaus does not stop. He walks past them. Johann crosses himself. Ernst does not react. He is too cold to care. At 1,200 hours, they see the monastery. It is half a kilometer away. Rising out of the snow, like a tombstone. The walls are intact. The bell tower is still standing. Smoke is coming from one of the chimneys. Klaus stops. Smoke means fire. Fire means people. People means danger. He turns to Johann and Ernst. He signals. They spread out. They approach slowly, rifles raised, hearts pounding. As they get closer, Klaus sees movement, a figure in the courtyard, a man wearing a Soviet uniform. Klaus drops to one knee. He raises his rifle. He aims. The man is bent over. He is splitting wood with an axe. He does not see them. Klaus lines up the shot. His finger is on the trigger. He breathes. In. Out. In. Then he lowers the rifle. He does not know why. Maybe because he is tired of killing. Maybe because the man is alone. Maybe because the man looks young. Too young. Klaus signals to Johann and Ernst. They move forward. They enter the courtyard. The man with the axe turns. He sees them. He freezes. The axe slips from his hands. He raises his arms. He does not run. He does not scream. He just stands there, waiting. Klaus approaches. He keeps his rifle raised. He stops 3 meters away. The man is young, 18, maybe 19. He has brown eyes, a thin mustache. His uniform is too big for him. His face is gaunt, starved. Klaus says nothing. The young soldier says something in Russian. Klaus does not understand. The young soldier tries again, this time in broken German. Please, do not shoot. I am alone. Klaus glances at Johann, then at Ernst, then back at the young soldier. He lowers his rifle. He asks where the others are. The young soldier shakes his head. There are no others. Just him. His unit left him behind. He was sick. Fever. They could not carry him. They said they would come back. That was 3 weeks ago. They did not come back. Klaus believes him. He does not know why, but he does. He tells the young soldier to show them inside. The monastery is cold, but it is shelter. There are walls. There are doors. There is a fireplace. The young soldier has been burning furniture to stay warm. Broken pews. Pieces of the altar. The place smells of smoke and damp stone. There are icons on the walls. Orthodox. Faded. Cracked. There is a statue of Mary in the corner. Her hands are missing. Broken off. Probably by shelling. The young soldier leads him to a small room near the back. It has a fireplace, a pile of wood, a blanket, a tin cup. Klaus tells Johann to start a fire. Johann nods. He sets down his rifle. He begins stacking wood in the fireplace. Ernst collapses against the wall. He is shaking violently now. His teeth are chattering. Klaus kneels beside him. He pulls off Ernst's gloves. His fingers are black. Frostbite. Bad. Klaus curses under his breath. He looks at the young Soviet soldier. He asks if there is any medicine. The young soldier shakes his head. No medicine. No food. Nothing. Just wood. And water from the well. Klaus stands. He walks to the window. He looks out at the snow. At the white emptiness. At the war that has swallowed them all. He thinks about Ernst. About Johann. About the young Soviet soldier who is alone and starving. He thinks about himself. About the 18 months he has spent on this frozen hell. About the men he has killed. About the friends he has buried. About the medals he has earned. He reaches into his tunic. He pulls out a small iron cross. 2nd class. He earned it at Rostov. For bravery under fire. For leading a charge that saved his company. The medal is cold in his hand. Heavy. It feels like a lie. He does not feel brave. He feels tired. He feels empty. He feels like a man who has killed too much and lived too long. He looks at the medal, then at the young Soviet soldier, then at Ernst, then at Johann, and he makes a decision. That night, they share the fire. All 4 of them, German and Soviet, enemy and enemy. They sit in a circle. The firelight flickers on their faces. They do not speak. There is no common language, but there is understanding. They are all cold. They are all hungry. They are all afraid. Klaus shares the last of the bread. He breaks it into 4 pieces. He hands 1 to Johann, 1 to Ernst, 1 to the young Soviet soldier, 1 for himself. The bread is hard, frozen, but it is food. They eat in silence. The young Soviet soldier watches Klaus. There is no hatred in his eyes, just exhaustion. Klaus sees it. He recognizes it. It is the same look he sees in the mirror. If he had a mirror, the fire burns low. Johann adds more wood. The warmth spreads. For the first time in days, Klaus can feel his fingers. He flexes them. They ache, but they work. Ernst has stopped shaking. He is asleep against the wall. His breathing is shallow but steady. The young Soviet soldier is staring at the fire. Klaus watches him. He wonders about his name, his family, his life before the war. But he does not ask. It is easier not to know, easier to see him as just a boy, not a person, not a son, not someone's brother, just a boy. At midnight, Klaus stands. He walks to the window. The snow has stopped. The sky is clear. The moon is full. The landscape glows blue and silver. It is beautiful. In a terrible way. He reaches into his tunic again. He pulls out the metal. He holds it up to the moonlight. The iron gleams. He thinks about what it represents. Courage. Sacrifice. Duty. He thinks about the men who died, so he could earn it. He thinks about the men he killed, so he could survive. He thinks about the war, about the madness of it, about the waste. And he decides he does not want it anymore. He does not want to carry it. He does not want to remember. He walks outside. The cold hits him like a fist. He ignores it. He walks to the courtyard, to the center, where the snow is deep and untouched. He kneels. He digs with his hands. The snow is soft at first, then hard, then frozen earth. He digs until his hands are numb, until his fingers are bleeding. He makes a hole, deep enough. He places the metal inside. He covers it with earth, then with snow. He packs it down. He stands. He looks at the spot. There is no marker, no sign, just snow, just cold, just silence. He goes back inside. He does not tell the others. He lies down by the fire. He closes his eyes. And for the first time in 18 months, he sleeps without dreams. The days pass. They stay at the monastery. There is nowhere else to go. The snow continues. The cold does not break. Ernst's fingers turn blacker. Klaus knows he will lose them. Maybe the whole hand. Maybe his life. There is nothing they can do. No medicine. No doctor. Just waiting. The young Soviet soldier shares what little he has. Water from the well. Wood from the furniture. A rat he caught in the cellar. They cook it over the fire. It tastes like ash. But it is protein. It is survival. Klaus learns the young soldier's name. Dmitri. He is from a village near Kiev. He has a mother, 2 sisters, a father who died in the purges. He was conscripted in 1941. He has been fighting for 2 years. He does not want to fight anymore. He just wants to go home. Klaus understands. He tells Dmitri his name. He tells him he is from Stuttgart. He has a wife, Anna. They married in 1938. She writes him letters. He has not received one in 4 months. He does not know if she is alive. He does not know if Stuttgart is still standing. He does not know anything anymore. Dmitri nods. He understands too. Johann listens. He does not speak. He is the youngest. He has not learned how to talk about these things yet. He still believes the war has meaning, that there is a reason. Klaus envies him and pities him. Ernst sleeps most of the time now. His breathing is worse, ragged, wet. Klaus knows the sound. Pneumonia. Ernst will not see spring, maybe not even March. Klaus sits with him. He holds his hand, the good one, the one that is not black. He tells Ernst he did well, that he was a good soldier, a good friend. Ernst smiles. It is a weak smile, a dying smile. He says thank you. Then he closes his eyes. On the 14th day, the Soviets return. Klaus hears the trucks first, then the voices. Russian, loud, confident. He wakes Johann. He looks at Dmitri. Dmitri is awake. He heard them too. Klaus makes a decision. He tells Johann to hide, to take Ernst and go to the cellar, to stay quiet. Johann does not argue. He helps Ernst to his feet. They move quickly, silently. They disappear down the stairs. Klaus turns to Dmitri. He says, "You do not have to lie for us." Dmitri looks at him. He says, "I know, but I will." Klaus nods. He hides his rifle behind the altar. He stands in the center of the room, waiting. The door bursts open. 3 Soviet soldiers enter. They have rifles. They are young, nervous. They see Dmitri. They shout at him in Russian. Dmitri responds. Klaus does not understand the words, but he understands the tone. Calm, steady, reassuring. Dmitri gestures to fire, to the room, to the empty monastery. The soldiers relax. They lower their rifles. One of them asks Dmitri a question. Dmitri answers. He points to Klaus. The soldiers look at Klaus. One of them raises his rifle again. Dmitri steps between them. He speaks quickly, urgently. The soldier hesitates. Then he lowers his rifle. Dmitri turns to Klaus. He says, "They think you are a priest." Klaus stares at him. "A priest?" Dmitri nods. "I told them you have been caring for me, that you are not a soldier, that you are a man of God." Klaus does not know what to say. He looks at the Soviet soldiers. They are watching him, waiting. He nods slowly. He does not speak. Speaking would betray his accent, his language, his identity. The soldiers seem satisfied. They search the room. They find nothing. They take some of the wood. They leave. The door closes. Klaus breathes. Dmitri sits down. He is shaking. Klaus is beside him. He says, "Thank you." Dmitri says, "You buried something in the courtyard. I saw you. What was it?" Klaus hesitates. Then he says, "A medal." Dmitri asks why. It's because I do not want to remember. Dmitri nods. He understands. On the 20th day, Ernst dies. It is quiet, peaceful. He simply stops breathing. Klaus is sitting beside him. He feels the moment, the shift, the absence. He closes Ernst's eyes. He covers him with a blanket. Johann weeps, quietly, into his hands. Dmitri stands in the corner. He says nothing, but his eyes are wet. They bury Ernst in the courtyard. The ground is too frozen to dig deep. They manage a shallow grave. They cover him with stones. Klaus says a prayer. He does not know if he believes in God anymore, but he says it anyway. For Ernst, for himself, for all of them. When it is done, they go back inside. The fire is low. Johann adds wood. They sit. The silence is heavy. Dmitri breaks it. He says, "I want to help you escape." Klaus looks at him. "Escape where?" Dmitri says, "West. To your lines." Klaus shakes his head. There are no lines anymore. Not here. Just snow. Just death. Dmitri says, "Then south. There are villages, farms. You can hide until the war ends." Klaus asks, "Why would you help us?" Dmitri says, "Because you did not kill me. Because you shared your food. Because you treated me like a person." Klaus does not respond. He stares at the fire. He thinks about Anna, about Stuttgart, about home. He thinks about the medal in the courtyard, buried, forgotten. He thinks about the war, about the madness, about the waste. And he decides. He says, "We will go south." They leave at dawn. Klaus, Johann, and Dmitri. They take what little they have. Rifles, ammunition, a blanket, the last of the wood. They walk in silence. The snow is lighter now. The wind has died. The sun is rising. Pale, cold, but there. They walk for hours. They see no one. No soldiers. No civilians. No life. Just snow. Just cold. Just emptiness. At noon, they stop to rest. Johann asks Dmitri if he will come with them. Dmitri shakes his head. He says he will go east, back to his unit, or what is left of it. Johann asks why. Dmitri says because it is where he belongs. Klaus understands. He says, "You saved our lives." Dmitri says, "You saved mine first." They are even. Klaus nods. They stand. Dmitri points south. He says, "Follow the river. There's a village. 10 kilometers. Maybe less." Klaus thanks him. Dmitri nods. He turns east. He walks away. Klaus watches him go. A Soviet soldier. An enemy. A friend. Johann asks if they will see him again. Klaus says no. Probably not. They turn south. They walk. They reach the village 3 days later. It is small. Abandoned. But there is a barn. It has walls. It has hay. It has shelter. They stay. They wait. The days turn into weeks. The weeks turn into months. The war continues. But it feels distant now, like something happening to someone else. In April, they hear explosions. Close. Getting closer. The front is moving. Klaus tells Johann they need to leave. They pack. They head west. They walk for days. They avoid roads. They avoid people. They move like ghosts. In May, they cross into German-held territory. They are stopped by a patrol. Klaus shows his papers, his identification. The soldiers are suspicious. They ask questions. Where have you been? Why are you not with your unit? Klaus tells them the truth. Most of it. The farmhouse. The cold. Ernst. The monastery. He does not mention Dmitri. He does not mention the Soviet soldiers who let them live. He does not mention the medal. The soldiers accept his story. They send Klaus and Johann to a field hospital, then to a processing camp, then to a new unit. The war is ending. Everyone knows it, but they fight anyway, because that is what soldiers do. In June, Klaus is sent to Berlin to defend the city. He fights in the rubble, in the streets, in the ruins. He kills. He survives. He does not know how. In July, the war ends. Klaus is captured by American forces. He is sent to a POW camp. He spends 8 months there. In March 1946, he is released. He goes home. To Stuttgart. The city is destroyed, bombed, burned. But Anna is alive. She is waiting. They embrace. They weep. Klaus does not tell her about the war, about Ernst, about Dmitri, about the medal. He buries it. All of it. Deep, where no one can find it. The years pass. Klaus tries to rebuild. He works construction. He helps rebuild the city he once knew. He and Anna have 2 children, a son named Ernst, a daughter named Greta. They buy a small house. They plant a garden. They try to be happy. And they are, mostly. But there are nights when Klaus cannot sleep. Nights when he sees the snow, the cold, the bodies, the medal. He never tells anyone. Not Anna, not his children, not his friends. It is his secret, his burden, his ghost. He works. He ages. He watches his children grow. He becomes a grandfather. He retires. H.E. Gardens. He reads. He tries to forget, but he never does. The war is always there, in the corner of his mind, waiting. In 1989, the Berlin Wall falls. The Soviet Union begins to collapse. Klaus watches it on television. He is 77 years old now. His hands shake. His back aches. He has lived a long life, a good life, but the war is still there. Anna has been dead for 3 years. Cancer. He misses her every day. His children visit. His grandchildren call. But he is alone. He thinks about the war more now. About Ernst. About Johann. He lost touch with Johann in 1950. He does not know if he is alive. He thinks about Dmitri. About the monastery. About the medal. And he makes a decision. He wants to go back. He wants to find it. He does not know why. Maybe to remember. Maybe to forget. Maybe to make peace. He tells his son Ernst. Ernst thinks he is crazy. The monastery is in Ukraine now. It is dangerous. The Soviet Union is collapsing, but it is still chaotic. Klaus does not care. He needs to go. Ernst argues. Klaus insists. Finally, Ernst agrees. He will go with him. They fly to Kiev in March 1990. They hire a driver, a young man named Alexei. He speaks German. He knows the area. Klaus shows him a map. He points to where the monastery should be. Alexei nods. He says he knows the place. It is abandoned, has been for years. They drive east. The roads are bad. The countryside is poor, but it is not at war. Not anymore. They reach the monastery 2 days later. It is still standing. Barely. The walls are crumbling. The bell tower has collapsed, but the structure is there. Klaus gets out of the car. His son helps him. They walk into the courtyard. The snow is gone. It is spring. The ground is muddy. There are weeds. There are broken stones. Klaus looks around. He tries to remember. It has been 47 years. Everything looks different, but familiar. He walks to the center of the courtyard. He looks down. He tries to remember where he buried it. He kneels. He digs with his hands. The earth is soft. He digs for an hour. Then 2. His son helps him. Alexei watches. Then Klaus's fingers hit something. Metal. Cold. Hard. He pulls it out. It is the metal. Rusted. Covered in dirt. But intact. Klaus stares at it. His hands are shaking. His eyes are wet. His son asks what it is. Klaus says it is the past. He wipes the dirt away. He looks at the iron cross, at the swastika, at the ribbon. He thinks about the man he was, the soldier, the killer, the survivor. He thinks about Ernst, about Dmitri, about the war, and he cries. For the first time in 47 years, he cries. His son holds him. Alexei looks away. When Klaus stops crying, he stands. He looks at the medal. Then he puts it in his pocket. He says, "Let's go home." They leave the monastery. They drive back to Kiev. They fly back to Stuttgart. Klaus puts the medal in a box. He puts the box in a drawer. He does not look at it again. Klaus dies in 1995. He is 83 years old. He dies in his sleep. His children find him in the morning. In his hand is a piece of paper, a note written in shaking handwriting. It says, "I buried my medal because I was ashamed. I dug it up because I wanted to remember. Not the war, not the killing, but the mercy. The Soviet boy who saved my life. The bread we shared. The fire that kept us warm. That is what I want to remember. That is what I want you to know. War makes monsters, but it also makes saints. Sometimes they're the same person. His children do not understand, but they keep the note. They keep the medal. And years later, Klaus's grandson finds him. He is a historian. He researches. He asks questions. He travels to Ukraine. He finds a monastery. He finds records, documents, names, and he finds Dmitri, or what is left of him. Dmitri died in 1987, but his children are alive. His grandchildren. Klaus's grandson contact them. He tells them the story about the monastery, about the medal, about the mercy. Dmitri's daughter weeps. She says her father never spoke about the war, but in his final days, he told her about a German soldier, a sergeant, who did not kill him, who shared his bread, who treated him like a person. She says her father said it was the only good thing that happened in the war. Klaus's grandson sends her the medal. He says it belongs to her father's memory. She accepts it. She puts it in a museum in Kiev with a plaque. It says, "This medal was buried by a German soldier who chose mercy over hate. It was found by his grandson who chose memory over silence. It represents the best of us, in the worst of times, and the story is told, in schools, in books, in museums, about the soldier who buried his medal, about the enemy who became a friend, about the war that tried to destroy humanity, and the humans who refused to let it. The medal sits in a glass case, rusted, scarred, beautiful, and people come to see it. They read the plaque. They think about the past, about the choices we make, about the courage it takes to see the enemy as human. And they remember, because some stories are too important to forget.